There is a brand new slasher film that just hit cinemas this past weekend, and I'm really excited to talk about this one, as I am with every movie that I talk about, because this one is a definite improvement over the previous film, so let's get to it. Welcome back, film fans. It is Brad from Let's Be Real Brad, and today on the channel, I want to talk to you guys about the brand new slasher film called Terrifier 2. Terrifier 2 is written and directed by Damien Leone, as it stars Lauren LaVera and David Howard Thornton in the lead roles. After being resurrected by a sinister entity, Art the Clown returns to the timid town of Miles County, where he targets a teenage girl and her younger brother on Halloween night. So going into this film, I was really excited to check it out, considering the fact that I really enjoyed the first Terrifier film, but I always felt like that movie lacked from having good characters and a good screenplay, as that movie really focused on the horror and the scares and trying to use that $35,000 budget, which is very small for a film. But when I heard that writer and director Damien Leone took about 3 months to revamp the story and the characters and to make this film more of a character-driven film, I was more excited for it. Everything about the film felt like it was going to be a massive improvement over the original film, and it definitely was. So let's just dive right into the positives first, and I have to start with the utilization of the budget here, as I found this movie to be even more terrifying and interesting and more creepy than the first film. This movie definitely has a lot more money on the screen, as there is a lot more locations, tons of blood, more practical effects, more use of makeup, and I really felt like this movie felt more professional than the first film, and I think this movie was just more engaging and more immersive because of this. Speaking of the scares, this movie is definitely more focused on being a more disturbing psychological horror film, whereas the first one was just more of a typical slasher movie that was definitely more scary in the jump scare kind of way, but this movie is more focused on the characters and takes back a lot of the scares, which I honestly didn't mind. But the strength of the movie has got to be with the screenplay, as I really enjoyed the characters this time around, especially the main character Sienna, who I thought was a very strong female character and one that I was rooting for the entire film, and I thought that she was a very complex and interesting character and gone through a lot without feeling like she's just boiled down to one specific thing like we see in a lot of horror films. I also enjoyed her brother in this movie as well, as I really cared about him as well, and I enjoyed the dynamic they had between one another. I also enjoyed the little bit of a backstory that we get of Art the Clown that is definitely going to be more in the third and potentially maybe fourth film in the future, because this movie really explores what Art the Clown potentially can do and what he has become now, or what it has become. I don't even know what it is, but I found that it made Art the Clown even more terrifying than the first film. But this movie explores a lot of different ideas, especially from other horror films like A Nightmare on Elm Street, Night of the Living Dead, Army of Darkness, Friday the 13th, that horror fans are definitely going to be reminiscent of. The performances in this film are really strong, especially from David Howard Thornton, who plays Art the Clown. Like, I have no idea how you could be that terrifying, especially with that creepy ass smile and the way his eyes just stare into your soul. The other massive standout is Lauren LaVera, who plays Sienna in this movie, who I thought was very strong in this film, and I would love to see her in more horror films in the future, maybe in a prequel or in a sequel film of the Terrifier franchise, because she was such a great character in this movie and she was able to embody everything that this character needed to be. And I thought all of the moments between her and her brother and her mom, and even going up against Art the Clown, were very strong, and she was able to offer so much range to this performance. Everyone else in this movie is pretty good as well, especially Elliot Furman, who plays the younger brother in this movie, who I do have to give a lot of credit for being a child actor and being as strong as he was and being able to interact with someone like Art the Clown, who is terrifying to look at and be around. Unfortunately, this film does have a few negatives here, and the first main one that I think a lot of people are going to have with this movie is the fact that this movie is way too damn long. Clocking in around 2 hours and 28 minutes, there is no need for this film to be that long unless you have a lot of substance, and I think this this movie is definitely trying to have that, and I think it could have been like 2 hours to 2 hours and 10 minutes. And the last negative I have with this film is one that counteracts a positive that I gave earlier in the review, but it's the limitations of the budget. When this movie is around $250,000, I do feel that this movie is very limited of what it tries to do, especially towards the third act of the movie that definitely tries to get very big and grand, and I really respect the ambition and the drive that this movie has. But if this movie just had more money behind it, this movie would feel more professional and immersive and even creepier. Overall, Terrifier 2 is exactly what a sequel should be by expanding the story and the lore of the franchise and still being scary and creepy and entertaining and having really good performances, great characters, and just feeling like there was a lot of effort and determination to make this even better than the first film. And I am really excited to see what a third film could look like, because I honestly think it's going to be the best one of the series. I'm giving Terrifier 2 a 7 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for checking out this review. As I want to know below in the comment section, have you heard of Terrifier 2? Have you seen the original? Let me know all your thoughts down below. Before you guys check out this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a like if you want to, and ring that notification bell so I can see you all in the following video.